Unlike the forges of Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver, the Glyph spells do not appear to have undergone significant cuts. Only the Spirit Glyph was known to have been cut from the retail version, and many of the Glyph altars remain the same in the alpha, with some minor changes. One of the most noticeable alterations in the alpha is the symbols used for the glyphs, which have changed to different designs in the retail version. Many of the altars themselves also change location and appear in different areas within the world. Let us take you through these changes. The Sunlight Glyph was the first of the glyphs to be found, and is suspected to be accessed after defeating Malkaya and gaining the phasing ability. Notably different from the retail version, the lighthouse area was actually accessed from the initial training room with the block and a graded health upgrade in retail. An unmovable block covers the passage in the alpha, but this is likely to have been replaced by a grate or sealed door later on. In this version, the glyph is regarded as the weakest and could only blind enemies. stone glyph is still found in the Practice Retreat nearby the necropolis. For those of you who loved Soul Reaver's numerous block puzzles, and who doesn't, the block puzzle required to activate the glyph is actually much harder in the alpha, with more blocks present and blocks needing to be used as a platform to transport other blocks. Blockception. An intriguing mystery can be found in this part of the stone glyph area. The high ledges and buildings here are accessible in all versions of the game, and provide a shortcut and access to eldritch energy and a health upgrade in retail. In the alpha version, it seems more was planned with this area, with buildings changing and some being able to be used as ledges. At the end, there's a doorway present, but there's only empty space beyond, and its original purpose is unknown. Subsequent versions cover this opening with impassable textures. The water glyph is still found in the water supply of the human citadel. The altar area has some funkier colours and more interesting geometry morphing in the spectral realm than the retail. some of which were used for promotional images. The fire glyph is still found in Raziel's clan territory, although much of the area has plainer textures and no lighting effects. Notably, the murals present in the retail are not present here. The alpha reveals that at least one of the murals was directly taken from a section of the cut under city level. The sound glyph was the first to require shift at will to access, and its location has been totally changed. In the retail version, the altar area is positioned in a cave below the silenced cathedral, but in the alpha that area is blank, and the sound glyph altar is instead found in a cave off the passage between the Sanctuary of the Clans and the Seraphan tomb. Strangely, in the alpha using the gong stick to ring the bell doesn't work yet, but it can be rung by the Soul Reaver instead. There is a precedent for this however, as even in the retail game, the fire glyph shrine can be activated by the Fire Reaver. The Force glyph also undergoes changes. Most notably, it suffers from something of a demotion. Being one of the later glyphs to be gained in the alpha, it is found first in the retail version. Like the sound glyph, it requires shift at will to access, and also like the sound glyph, it has its location changed. Found nearby the necropolis in the retail version, the alpha has the glyph altar underwater off the boat area of the Drowned Abbey. Being underwater, force projectiles are needed to activate the puzzle. Interestingly, this means that the altar, which appears to be dedicated to Blood Omen Mind Guardian Neprapta, was initially placed 2 clear areas away from his retreat, and was only moved closer in later builds. The last glyph, the Spirit Glyph, ended up removed from the game and did not make the retail version. However, although the glyph itself was cut, the rooms were actually repurposed and were hidden in the retail game for 20 years, disguised as something else. The entrance to the glyph altar is found in a cave by the Hub B area that contains only a bonfire in retail. The altar consists of the Morlock 7 and 8 rooms, which are found in the human citadel and contain a fountain and a health upgrade in the retail version. The puzzle here is slightly different too, and spawns a Melkahim, which can be sacrificed by placing it on the central platform to use its soul to power the altar. The eagle-eyed among you may also be able to spot something obscured in the retail version. All of the glyph altars use the same basic rib wall and pillar structure. The spirit glyph consists of a green radial energy intended to draw souls in, although this does not appear functional in the alpha. Here's a demonstration of the glyphs at work.